By the Wind Grieved began as all my novels do, with a single image, a mound of leaves in the woods, and I knew that beneath that mound of leaves was a body. From there, it became a novel much more conscious, a novel in which I wanted to tell a story, a primal story of two brothers, a novel that in some ways would evoke East of Eden by John Steinbeck, perhaps. Also John Juno's Two Riders on the Storm, which is a book I greatly admire. But very different in some ways from my other novels, in the sense of I really wanted this book to be a smaller book, one of those shorter books, though it's hard to explain, in some ways like The Stranger by Camus, in the sense of it being one that rewards rereading, that might seem simple at first, but then become much more complex upon thinking about the book more. Another writer I hope to evoke was Fyodor Dostoevsky. He's a writer who had such an impact on me, particularly when I was very young. When I was 15, I read Crime and Punishment, and it changed my life. For the first time in my life, I felt I had not so much entered a book as a book had entered me. And so when I wrote this novel, I wanted to use some of what I'd learned and been inspired by Dostoevsky into a kind of philosophical argument about guilt and innocence. But ultimately also, one other area I wanted to emphasize was that this is also a book about the 1960s in rural America. Growing up there, it was so interesting to realize what was happening in California and New York City, the rise of the hippies, flower power, all of the sexual freedom, the drugs, and all of this was so alien to rural America. And one aspect of the novel, I hope it invokes what it felt like to be in the 1960s in rural America. And also in the novel, over the course of a summer, all that America experienced, both the good and bad of the 60s, from Charles Manson to the idea of peace and love and understanding, are evoked in this single summer.